Hello, everyone. My name's Jeff Adams. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm one of the co-founders of Grad Australia and Prosperous. I'm really pleased to be here to host this focus session on industry and in-house graduate opportunities at the Business and Consulting Super Fair. I'd like to also thank Chartered Accountants ANZ for working with us to make this event possible. For the next 30 minutes, I'll be conducting a Q&A with a panel of employers and industry experts, and we're going to try to get to your questions as well. Following this 30 minutes, students are invited to attend the Business and Consulting Super Fair, where there'll be over 80 employers ready to speak with you, but I'll circle back to this in 30 minutes' time. On the call today, we have got Lucinda Thomas from Kraft Heinz and Tracy Nickel from Coles. We're hoping we've just got some tech issues with Lillian Tran from L'Oreal and Chun Nung from CAANZ. We're hoping to get them on the call, but at the very least, we've got Lucinda and Tracy from Kraft and Coles on the call. Team, it's great to have you with us, and I'd love to start off by getting a quick introduction to yourselves, as well as a quick explainer of what your organisation does. Lucinda, we'll start with you, please.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. And thank you for giving myself and Kraft Heinz the opportunity today. It's awesome to see so many on the call, and given this new environment, how we're all adapting. So great to still have this opportunity to talk to future grads. But so I'm Lucinda Thomas. I am the Talent Development Manager at Kraft Heinz, and I look after the corporate and commercial functions across ANZ. So essentially, I've been running their grad program for nearly 3 years now and look after all the learning and development. So Kraft Heinz, as most of you know, is famous for baked beans. So Heinz baked beans, which I'm sure most of you have in your pantry. We are one of the world's largest food and beverage manufacturing companies, holding over 200 iconic brands. Some brands that you may know is Heinz ketchup, baked beans, as I mentioned, Golden Circle, Gravox, Saxa salt, and Kraft mac and cheese. So at Kraft Heinz, our vision is to sustainably grow by delighting consumers globally. So I'll pass it over now to Tracy.
Just before we go on there, I'm from Shepparton, Northern Victoria, and there's the SPC cannery in Shep, and big baked bean competitor to Kraft baked beans. Thought I'd better chime in, but no, plenty of brands there, and we love that with big consumer brands like you to just how vast the company is and what the company offers. Sorry, Tracy, over to you.
Hi, Tracy Nickel. I work for Coles. I've been with Coles now in the grad space for about the last 3.5. I look after all the sort of attraction and recruitment side for the program. We take on about 130 grads a year. So it's my job to go out and do these kind of events and talk to people and help get you through the process and look after you through the recruitment process until induction, where we then hand over to someone in our team that looks after all the development side over the 2-year journey. Coles, what do? We sell food primarily, lots of Kraft and Heinz products, but I guess it's, our graduate program is more about the behind the shelves and sort of what goes on behind the stores and all the different functions that we have positions available in, and just about getting that sort of product from paddock to plate and the journey that each function plays within that. So and it's good to see so many on the call.
It certainly is. And we've got so many keen students, anywhere from sort of first year through to their final year of study, that are pretty fired up for the upcoming grad recruit season. We're just, if anyone tuning in now, we're lucky enough to have both Lucinda and Tracy from Kraft, Heinz and Coles. I'd just like to kick off with another question in respect to the most important piece of advice you'd be giving to students that are aspiring to work for an organisation within this sector. If you'd like to kick off, Lucinda.
Yeah, sure. I've just seen Lillian's join the line though.
Hey, Lillian, lovely to have you.
Hey, Lillian. Yeah, definitely. So I think in fast moving consumer goods, as it says, it's fast moving. You need to be able to keep up with the fast paced environment. It is forever changing. It's evolving with technology. It's evolving with process improvement. It's evolving with current trends. So I think being really familiar with what's going on in the outside world is really going to help you understand this sector and really understand what company you want to work for within this sector. So FMCG and retail is huge. So I think the best advice that I can give is make sure you do your research around the companies and what they stand for and basically how they support their people. You want to make sure that you're aligning to the values of the company and the strategic direction that it's going in, to make sure it's the best fit for you, as well as the company, you being the best fit for the company. I think too, it's a really good time for graduates to understand the COVID response that companies have taken. I think that can really help you decide what organisation you want to go to within that sector. So maybe how people have supported their staff during COVID. Were there redundancies during COVID? Were they hiring more people during COVID? I think it's a really good time to really understand that side of the business. So I couldn't recommend any more than doing your research around what that business is and how they look after their people.
No, spot on. And just the simple exposure that you get as a younger person coming out of university into industry, it's just immense with these big brands that we're speaking to today. Tracy, would you like to expand on that? Is there anything, or Lillian?
Look, I think I would completely mirror that. Obviously, being in the same FMCG, extremely fast. So doing your research it sounds such a simple thing to do, but we don't mean just, looking on Google and getting a little blurb about the company or thinking I shop in Coles, so I pretty know my way about. It's being able to show that you have looked into that company and be able to show that you've got a genuine passion for wanting to join Coles or whatever organisation it is that you're going for. Because when it comes down to interviews, that's what will set you aside between other candidates, because you can clearly see those that have, look, it's no shock to us, and we all know that candidates apply for 15, 10, 20, grad programs. But what is going to set you aside is to show that you've applied for us because you actually generally do want to join us. And what Lucinda said, it's not for everyone. And the whole recruitment process, it's about you making sure that we're the right fit for you, as well as you being the right fit for us. So it's really important to do your background and show that you've clearly researched and have a passion.
Spot on. And put yourself in the recruiter's shoes. I think it's good for students to try to be empathetic in that way. And what would if I was recruiting students, what would I want to see? And the answer is passion and honest, research. You understand what you're going for. And I think in terms of an opportunity cost of being, you've studied for 3-5 years, the opportunity cost of time to just put in that extra, moment of time of research and really thoroughly putting your best foot forward is a cheap, it's not an expensive use of time, if you know what I mean, for students just to put that best foot forward.
Yeah, nothing compared to the years of study that you've just done.
Nothing,
and I think being your true authentic self, be yourself. Don't be what you think we want you to be yourself. Because again, that does come across.
No, spot on. Lillian, I think I rudely cut you off, sorry. We've
No,
got Lillian Tran from L'Oreal. Great to have you with us.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties. It looks like when I rejoined, I was made co-host, so all good. Glad to be on now. So I totally mirror what Tracy and Lucinda have said, but I do want to give a quick hot tip on how to keep up to date with companies. So if you do find a particular interest in a company, I would highly recommend going on their social media and just clicking a follow button or the alerts on your phone, so that you can receive that news update regularly through your phone, and that's being fed to you without even having to try. It really does give you the leverage when you go in and for an interview or write a cover letter. Yeah.
Would you like to expand on that, Lillian?
Yeah.
In terms of L'Oreal and what students need to do to put their best forward in terms of applying, and maybe a better question is how to progress to the next round. Like, what is Tracy touched on research and passion for the role and the reason why you'd want to join the company, but anything else to put your best foot forward in terms of an application?
Yeah, I think with us, we follow a very similar recruitment process to most companies. Probably Kraft and Coles do the same, but it goes application, testing, video interview, assessment center. For us, as soon as you've met the eligibility criteria, we don't actually screen your resume. We send you straight through to testing. So our first test is a certified marketer's test, and despite it being a marketing focused test, I would say that anyone who has done a degree is able to pass the test. So really practice those questions online. So you can look up psychometric testing to practice the conceptualization, abstract reasoning, and calculations type questions. It is multiple choice, so super easy. And also, I think nowadays it's becoming more and more evident that having a degree or attending a prestigious university is not enough for you to stand out to a recruiter. So my advice is for you to use this time wisely while you're at uni and dabble and experiment in things to upskill yourself. And this could be, some examples could be, if we weren't in a COVID world, going on exchange, doing work experience for an industry that you're interested in, joining a university society, or even doing case competitions. L'Oreal has our case competition called Brandstorm, and even we've partnered with Prospool to put up a virtual experience online. Digital skills nowadays are really seen as very special, I guess, and needed in a company. So, learning how to code or doing those courses online can really help your application stand out.
Super. I think a lot of students are pretty grateful to hear, this insight. Tracy, Lucinda, anything to add on that front from your company's perspective?
I guess we're the same in that we don't look at resumes up front. So it's the same process in that application form, assessments of psychometric testing, etc. And then it's video interview. And I think that's the key part where you get the chance to really let us know who you are and what you're about. And I guess a tip there is, the way that you answer a question doesn't necessarily have to relate to a work situation. It can be a hobby, it can be a club that you're a member of. Talk to what you love and do and can easily talk to. It's not really about having the right or wrong answer. It's been giving us an idea of who you are and giving us an overview that you actually know what you're talking about, you're happy to communicate well, and can talk freely to something. So pick something that you're passionate about and you'll be able to talk to it easily. Don't feel you have to always relate it to a work topic.
So good.
Yeah, I'll just build on that. We're similar in it's at the video interview stage you really get to see a person shine and whether they are going to marry up to your company or not. So for Kraft Heinz, we are seeking those people that are really performance based and that are ambitious, that work really hard. So I think when you can demonstrate that you have been involved in extracurricular activities, or you have achievements outside of school, or you've done something else, that really reflects a proactive attitude, and that you have ownership of your life, and that you are driven. So I think, yeah, as much as you can talk to that through the video interview stage is highly recommended. And also to picking out our values and saying how you resonate with them. It's another point where we can pick up whether you're aligned to us or not. So especially if they're saying a value that isn't one of our values, then we know that they haven't done their research at the same time. So when you can point out a value and really resonate with it, and show that you are passionate about working for that company, and you're not just applying for another job, basically.
That's right. And I also remember it's easy at university to relate to your own experience from an assignment perspective, or sort of a particular tutorial group arrangements and so forth. But the truth is, employers are often looking for real examples of real life, and whether you are flipping burgers at Macca's, stacking shelves at Woolies, pulling beers at the local pub, making whatever, there's normally things that you can draw from those experiences as a young person starting out your career. It's certainly nothing to be ashamed of, those roles. It's actually excellent stuff that employers want to hear about. Is often things that come back to us. Chun, great to have you. Thanks for joining us with the technical challenges. CFO of CAANZ, thanks for the support of having this event go ahead with CAANZ's assistance. I'd love to hear just a quick introduction from yourself and a little bit about CAANZ as well.
Sure, no, thanks, and apologies for the technology. So I've just messaged the other panelists that I'm probably leading the race on Zoom bingo. All I have to say is that you're on mute and your camera's not working.
It's okay.
Then I get the try. No, so very briefly, look, I'm the CFO of CAANZ, which is Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand. I've been here for a little bit over 12 months. And in COVID years, I'm not sure if that's like in dog years, what that equates to, but I feel very well entrenched as part of the organisation. What CANZ do is we're the professional membership body for accountants for Australia and New Zealand. It's about 130,000 odd members, with footprint mainly in Australia and New Zealand, but also small offices around the globe for our members over there as well. Really 4 things that we do. One is support our 130,000 odd members through networking events, special interest groups, consultation groups. We're also an educator. So the Chartered Accountants professional program is actually university accredited. So we're actually a professional educator. We're also a regulator in professional conduct. So ensuring that our members are doing the right things by their clients. And last one is we're an advocate. So we'll work with key stakeholders like the government as they present their budget, and just provide a voice for the membership around that space. So that's a little bit about me.
Thanks, Chun. And just such a great organisation that is a bit of a sort of glue in between university students and employers trying to connect as well.
Sure.
With any commerce, accounting degree background. So not an employer as such, we will sort of point out right now in terms of, but certainly a very important part for this sector and students studying these degrees.
Yeah, certainly as an educator, but also, I mean, within here, we've got a finance team as well. So like everyone else, we're always on the lookout for good talent, and where we can bring talent in and also develop, nurture, and whether they have a great prosperous career with us or whether they are exported to other parts of the industry. We certainly have a role in that. So.
Oh, fantastic. Sure, students can find that information out on your website.
Absolutely.
uunlimited.com.au, I think, is the site for CANZ.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, terrific. No, thank you very much. And I think we'll just swivel back to an employer on, let's sort of jump ahead a bit, and let's say the student has sort of progressed to the next round and they're actually successful. Because at the end of the day, it is important to make sure the student is happy down the track and it's the right call in the first place to even apply with confidence and so forth. can you tell us, anyone on the call, what advice you'd give to help a new graduate survive and thrive in their first year? And perhaps it might be easier to maybe suggest what they shouldn't do, maybe?
Sure, I'll go first.
Good on you, Lucy.
What they shouldn't do. I know for us, we would hate for any of our grads to be complacent. I think we're getting you in because you do have those fresh eyes and a new perspective. We want you to take those risks. We want you to challenge us the way that we've been doing things, maybe the way we've done them for several years. So yeah, don't be afraid to challenge things. Don't be complacent, and yeah, take a couple of risks. One of our values is dare to do better every day. So we'd expect that our grads come in and yeah, really shake things up a bit.
Love it.
Yeah, I think that's something that resonates with us as well. You know, our graduates we see as our future leaders. We want them to be innovative and, you know, really help push the company in new directions. So we're not trying to get a specific culture fit. We want a real diverse range of people. Our purpose is to sustainably feed Australians to help them lead happy, healthier lives. And, you know, there's no better time than now than during COVID and all that's been going on. And I think with that going on, you know, we're finding ourselves working from home. And I think the key thing not to do is to sit in isolation and not reach out for help and ask questions. And because what once was an easy turnaround and chat to a colleague and ask a question is now having to be a phone call and an email, and it may seem a much bigger step, and you're thinking, you know, oh God, I've messaged them 3 times today already, I can't message them again. It's having that confidence to just keep reaching out and don't sit in isolation and totally ask for help.
Yeah, I agree, Tracy. And building upon that, I think it's really important in your first year to make those meaningful connections and network. So use the year to establish those relationships with other grads or people from cross-functional teams maybe. And don't underestimate the power of socializing in the workplace and going to the social events after work hours as well. Because, you know, if you champion to be the leader of a project that's more cross-functional, or if you volunteer to I don't know, attend an event that's not necessarily within your team, or if you chat to a stranger in the elevator, I think it can go a long way. And the more people that you know from different teams can help you later on after the graduate program as well. And another piece of advice, I think, in order for graduates to thrive in their first year is to really understand what the business vision is from a bigger perspective. So then, you know, the 100 balls that you're trying to balance, you'll know which ones that you can drop and which ones that you can't drop and to keep up.
Spot on. Keeping context aligned as to why it is that you're working on whatever it is that you're working on, balancing, as you mentioned, hundreds of balls at one point in the air. Yeah, no, really good. I think general takeout is to, you know, first year in, aim small, miss small. If there's problems early, address them. Keep proactive about it. Remember why you applied in the first place with confidence to land the job. You've done really well to get the gig, but don't let things snowball out of control, especially when a lot of us might be working from home still, as Tracy said. I know working from home myself, like it is, it's a different way of work, and it's something that grads are going to be exposed to as well. But no, thank you very much for that. And I think with a handful of minutes left, maybe one last sentence, if we could just finish off, why should students apply with, we'll go Kraft, Heinz, then Coles, then L'Oreal, if that's okay, please.
Nice elevator pitch.
Yeah, here we go.
No, so at Kraft Heinz, we're all about making life delicious. So we're a fun brand that you're going to find in nearly every pantry. So if you're ready to leave a legacy, then you're definitely welcome at our table.
Love it.
I guess for us, yeah, innovation is king at the moment. We are definitely looking for our future leaders, and you are certainly set up for success. And success to me is not only after the end of the 2 years that you get a role in Coles and that you succeed in a career thereafter, which is what we want, but you're absolutely set up for success to join any organisation thereafter. But you don't want to hear that from me because I could tell you anything. So on our booth is our graduates today and not me. So you'll hear it straight from the horse's mouth. So go and ask them.
For L'Oreal, I think you don't have to really be interested in makeup or beauty or skincare at all. I think you really just have to be looking for an environment where you are able to learn and develop, both professionally and personally. And I think L'Oreal not only enables that, but encourages that and provides you with the platform to do so. So I think L'Oreal will be a great place for you to start your career if that's what you're looking for.
Awesome. Fantastic. Just a question that's just dropped in as well before we duck off to the careers fair. Are these roles available for graduates who have prior work experience? Imagine they certainly are. And are these available for international students? Is there any comments there?
So there's not a necessity to have had prior work experience. In terms of Coles, it's always helpful if you've had, some retail experience while you've been studying, etc. Most organisations have an eligibility criteria, and for us, that is that you have permanent residency or an Australian New Zealand citizen, and that you have the minimum of a bachelor's degree at the time of starting.
Yes, that's same with L'Oreal, exactly the same for Australia and New Zealand. We have other L'Oreals in other countries that may have different criteria. So if you are international, I would say look at your country to see if there is a graduate program there as well.
Yeah, and mine is the exact same as that also. Yeah, and we do have Kraft Heinz graduate programs all over the globe.
There's another question here, which I think is good in terms of dates. Are these programs available for mid-year entry, or are we all kicking off the current application season? If you'd like to quickly just mention when that closes off for the three companies, and then when those graduates will start.
Mm-hmm. Our applications are open now, which is crazy to say, for a month, so for 4 weeks from yesterday, and it's for January 2022 start. However, if you've already completed university and you're able to start earlier, there's definitely no reason why we can't get you started in the door earlier in some capacity.
We are not open yet, so we'll be opening in a couple of weeks for about 6 weeks. And again, that's for a February 22 start.
Thanks, Tracy. And Lillian, in terms of your dates, please.
Yes, so our applications are open for our MT Management Trainee Program, and they close on the 5th of April, and it's to commence next February the 1st.
Awesome. That's us for time. We've hit 30 minutes for the focus session. Thank you very, very much to our panelists. Really appreciate your time jumping on, and excuse the tech issues at the start. We got there. I'm sure students found it really interesting. It's a great warm-up as well to start thinking about the next hour and a half of the virtual super fair that we have for business and consulting. Just a reminder to jump back to the event page that you entered this event in, or via rather, and you'll be able to start seeing, if I just quickly share my screen, you'll be able to see join video booth buttons starting to appear under employer brands as this fair comes online right now. And we'll, really looking forward to seeing you shortly in those events. Thanks again from Lucinda, from Kraft Heinz, Tracy from Coles, Lillian from L'Oreal, and Chun as well. Thanks from Chartered Accountants ANZ. It's been fantastic having you guys, and we'll look forward to a great virtual event just coming through to speak to many employers. Be bold, be asking questions, and have a great session ahead, students. Thanks for your support.